Bum, 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 bum. Oh! You were meant to miss! How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Luke's Reviews. On today's video, I will be reviewing the latest addition to the Rocky Creed franchise, Creed 2. Creed 2 picks up 3 years after the end of the first one. Adonis Creed has become a boxing superstar and gets the chance to compete for the heavyweight championship. However, the past rears its ugly head as Ivan Drago steps back onto the scene with his absolute beast of a son, Victor. I think the Rocky series can be split into 3 categories. You've got the great ones, the good ones, and then you got Rocky 5. Nevertheless, I absolutely adore the Rocky series. I think the best ones to watch going into Creed 2 would be Rocky 4 and obviously the first Creed. I'll say it now, Rocky 4 is a friggin' masterpiece. Yeah, I know that it's not like the most cinematic work of art, but can we all just appreciate the fact that Rocky Balboa single-handedly stops the Cold War? I mean, the dude's kind of a war hero. And as for Creed, that turned out to be one of my favourite films of last year, and probably the second best in the franchise. I love how it took the series back to its roots, yet at the same time set on its own path. Plus, Stallone was robbed for an Oscar that year. Like, I'm sorry, Mark Rylance, you were great in Bridge of Spies, but come on, you were no Rocky Balboa. Now, if you've been following the Rocky and Creed series, you kind of know that the story in Creed 2 was the only logical way this could go. Adonis, the son of Apollo Creed, now has to fight Victor Drago, the son of Ivan Drago. Ivan Drago, obviously, spoilers for Rocky 4. I mean, what are you doing? If you haven't seen Rocky 4, go now. But yeah, spoilers, Apollo Creed is killed in the ring by Ivan Drago. And now, Adonis feels like he has something to prove to avenge his father by facing Victor. The first Creed, whilst being a boxing movie through and through, is more focused on individuality and discovering your true destiny. The sequel switches it up by focusing on creating and maintaining your own legacy through the notions of parenthood. Adonis has to deal with starting a family alongside Tessa Thompson's character, who I feel was given a lot more to do this time round, as well as honouring the memory of his father. Rocky has his own personal struggles to overcome, and most surprisingly of all, Creed 2 delves into the characters of the Dragos. Michael B. Jordan continues to churn out remarkable performances. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen him give a bad performance in a film before. Oh, what about Fantastic Four, I hear you say? Oh, well, that's simple. That movie doesn't exist. Although this performance feels a lot more reserved. He's a lot less aggressive and a lot more professional in this performance. Stallone can honestly do no wrong as the Italian Stallion, and I think everyone remembers him as the all-American action gung-ho hero from like Rambo and all the Expendables films. But I think people forget just how great of an actor he can be. Many also don't realise just how great of a screenwriter he is. Aside from the first Creed, Stallone has written every single Rocky film there is, including this one. What I love about Stallone's writing is the care that he has for the characters. He's able to take every single character on their own individual journey and give them added depth that we didn't know they even needed. The relationship between Adonis and Rocky is just as heartfelt as ever, but what I didn't expect were how well developed Ivan and Victor Drago were. I can probably count the number of lines Ivan Drago has in Rocky 4 on one hand. In just one scene in Creed 2, we learn more than we ever knew about the Dragos than the entirety of Rocky 4 gave us. Basically, ever since Drago lost the fight, Russia have completely shunned him. They want nothing to do with him, they wiped their hands with him and said "Do svidanya." 30 years later, he's back with his son, in the hopes of finding redemption. This, for me, was the unexpected highlight of Creed 2. Seeing how Drago has evolved and still harbours this resentment for Rocky and the Creed name is just fascinating and picks apart that whole man behind the monster ideology. The film also creates an interesting dynamic between him and his son, played by newcomer Florian Munteanu. I really want to get his name right because look at the guy. That guy could kill me with his toenail. Also, can I just say, if I was in the ring with this guy, I mean, I'm running home. Like, you can have my title. Ain't no way I'm getting beaten to a pulp. If I have any problems with the film, it's a little too predictable, I think, at times. You know where the story's going to go, and nothing's a real surprise, but again, that didn't really detract from my overall enjoyment of the film. Ryan Coogler stepped down from the directing chair this time, and whilst his presence can be missed, newcomer Stephen Cable Jr. does a fantastic job at helming the project, and directs the boxing scenes very, very well. Just a quick heads up, you will never want to watch a boxing film with me at at all. No matter how many times I've seen the film, whenever it gets to that final fight, I'm that guy screaming at the screen going, "Come on, Rocky! Come on!" Yeah, I get pretty heated. The boxing scenes are so damn exciting to watch, from the camera work, the brutality of the fights, to Ludwig Göransson's score. These are some of the most exhilarating and violent boxing scenes in the whole series. I mean, nothing will ever beat that one-take fight scene in Creed, because damn. To this day, I am still in awe of how they filmed that. The showdown between Creed and Drago, I mean, if that doesn't want to make you leap out your seat, I honestly don't know what will. Either that or your legs don't work. Thankfully, Creed 2 joins the pile of great Rocky films. It continues honouring the series that came before it while still building on its own path. The character development is some of the best we've seen in the series, especially when it comes to the Dragos, and the boxing scenes are unforgettable. I'd still put the first Creed a fraction above this one, but that's taking nothing away from this film, because I'm going to give Creed 2 a 9.5 out of 10. So guys, that's my verdict on Creed 2. Tell me if you've seen the film already, let me know what you thought in the comments below, as well as what your favourite Rocky film is. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Links to my Facebook and Twitter are in the description below. Once again, many thanks for watching guys, and I shall see you in the next video.